Hi there, it's Martin here, and this is channel about curiosity. It's about discovering something for yourself. And in this video, I just want to briefly talk about what I've learned from doing 4 liters of water per day challenge for 5 days, which is something I did last week from Tuesday to Saturday. Today is Monday, and I was reflecting on what actually happened over those 5 days and what I've learned, what are the benefits, what are the downsides of doing that. So one thing I need to mention is that I saw a couple of videos on YouTube, and people were basically doing challenges that they will drink 4 liters of water per day for a certain period of time. So this wasn't this type of challenge. It was a challenge to use only 4 liters of water for everything we do in the day, like brushing your teeth, washing, drinking, making a tea, cooking, and anything you might consider yourself to do. And using only 4 liters of water. So it wasn't just about drinking and hydration, but it was the challenge to diminish using water. Okay, so that's just to make it clear. And counterintuitively, one of the benefits was time saving. I put myself into the mindset that I actually don't have water, and I can only use those 4 liters, and that's it. So because of that, I skip quite a lot of different tasks that I do during the day, or that I do longer during the day, like, washing and doing all those teas and washing the dishes and doing that only sort of at the very end of the week was really sort of time saving, because I didn't go downstairs to the kitchen, do the water, uh, wash everything, dry everything, put it back. Um, so one thing is time saving, funny enough, and also because of that, because I had to be mindful, really mindful how I'm using this water. Um, I really slowed down, and this is, well, something I'm interested anyway, in a mindfulness sort of activities and being conscious of how I'm doing things, which relates to meditation as well. But basically, slowing down in the era where we rush everything from task to task, we're distracted by technology and everything. Actually, slowing down and being mindful about how much water I'm using for those little tasks got me more into the present moment, and I was able to focus on what I'm actually doing. Another thing is creativity, funny enough. And the things like I invented how to wash 2 kilos of carrots with this much water. And it's probably not the best thing to do because I probably didn't wash them properly. But as for inventing those scenarios, how would I live, or how would I have to go about my day if something like that happened? And this is really sort of a thought-provoking process, um, which I know a lot of people like Tim Ferriss, for example, do, where you start to ask yourself question about certain scenario and how would you behave in that scenario. So having only 4 liters of water brings about the thoughts that, you know, it's like, okay, now I need to balance how much I'm going to use for this, for this, for this, for that. And we can take the same thing for, saving money, which is sort of the equivalent I think people could do. So creativity, at least in my case, washing the carrots, washing the spinach, and using only certain amount of water for washing myself. That was good. And ultimately, I saved money because Well, I thought, okay, so I will be only able to use this much water, but I know I'm a hydration freak, so let me cook enough food for a couple of days so I don't have to do it again. I have enough food for literally 5 days, which I did have, and I didn't do anything else. I didn't go to shop. Um, I didn't spend any money in that time because I had everything prepared and I didn't have to worry about that. So that's something I do very often, anyways. But s- trying to save more water and thinking about that made me to go about that even more seriously, if you know what I mean. And then the last thing is about being able to put yourself into someone else's shoes, into someone else's situation, and see how that would play out in your home, in your own life. And to me, that was one of the most inspiring things, because it also raised a certain level of empathy and gave me that awareness, to really look at the other perspective of having only this much water. Um, and this brings me to the point where I noticed, as I said before, that's I've been taking my life for granted. Like, everything is here, everything is provided, everything is automatic, and everything is great. And yet, we we just still cannot appreciate it. And so, what I noticed as well, both in this challenge and over the last year, is the quote that really got stuck in my head, that no one owes me anything, you know? And however that might sound, to me, it is really liberating, because then the responsibility is on me and on me only. So that's it. I hope this gives an insight into how it is to use only 4 liters of water per day for everything for 5 days. And I'm really looking forward for the next challenges, for fundraising the rest of the money to climb Kilimanjaro and to provide that money for Dig Deep projects in Kenya. And see you in the next video, whatever the topic will be. I'll probably look at telling more about uh, taking cold showers and how that might impact your ability to deal with stress and uh, overwhelming. So I'll probably talk a little bit more about that. So see you then. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, stay curious.